Of the scheduled 12 rounds, one is down. Frank Bruno, early impressions on how that went?
Both concentrating beautifully, you know what I mean? It's not just feeding each other out. It's first round, you don't expect too much, but such a great fight. Just excited, you know?
Duran happy to just control the centre of the ring, it seemed to be, and let Leonard go around him and take a good look at him.
Yeah, they're sussing at each other at the first round, you know, feeding each other out.
What's being said in that corner now, do you think?
I can't speak Spanish. It's best you ask them what they're saying in the corner. I can tell you if that's what they're saying in Leonard's corner, but not Duran.
When in Leonard's corner, what will they say?
I'm not too sure. It's best you put the mic to their corner and ask them, you know?
There is Leonard now.
Right.
Not even breathing. Not even breathing.
You're keeping him warm, using the towel.
Looking very calm. Okay, we'll go back to ringside now. Round 2 is coming.
Fight time in Las Vegas. Round number 2, scheduled for 12.
Well, Duran is really going to have to take it to Leonard.
Well, what Ray is going to look to do, lull him to sleep a little bit side to side, get in, hit him with good combinations, and then get back out again.
Duran surely is expecting this attack, though, gentlemen. He cannot be surprised.
No question about it.
So his question, the question about Duran then is, how patient can he be? How effectively can he cut off the ring?
Well, you can see he's trying to cut the ring off now on Leonard, you know? And that's the smart thing to do. But as you know, you cannot let Leonard get the lead in the beginning of the fight. Well, I would suspect that Duran would have to throw some punches.
Right-hand lead landed by Leonard, a counter return by Duran.
The main thing which I worry about, by Duran getting down to 158, didn't zap it into his energy. And we'll find out in the late rounds. This fight here, they both play the same game. Duran is like that also.
Duran getting a little more range counter-punching and lands a good right to the body.
Duran has always been known as a good body puncher anyway.
Well, he is getting the range a little bit now, Tim. A little low by Roberto.
Left hook lead scored by Leonard before the low blow return.
Well, like I said, both of these guys, there's no difference in them because they both know each other.
Ray is trying to feel his legs under him.
Now Ray, for the first time starting to smile, look a little more confident, a little more relaxed.
Yeah, well, that's the same thing he did against Tommy, and next thing you know, he went down.
And now a little of a return to New Orleans stuff.
He's working on Roberto's mind right now.
So far,
there we go. He's working on Roberto's mind.
The first bolo move.
Bolo move and ended followed by the jab. That's what he did in the second fight. Here he is side to side again. And Roberto hasn't changed his pattern one bit.
Well, I think Roberto knows that he's got to get Leonard to come to him on the throw punches.
But now when they got into a punching exchange, Leonard was able to out-punch him and then get out.
And this is where Duran has to follow back and continue to throw punches. This is what Duran is trying to do.
In the round number 2.
And it was a fascinating round as well as Leonard takes his blanket. It's cold there, but he started with great authority, Barry McGuigan.
Yeah, he looks the sharper of the two. He just what I thought. He's a little bit fresher, a little bit quicker. You can see the aging in Duran's legs in particular. He's not able to catch him and cut him off so quickly. But, you know, it's early times, yeah.
We've seen just shades of Leonard's goading Duran there.
Looks like that's going to start. As I said before the fight, he'll not be able to resist that. At some stage during the fight, he'll start this goading and play acting. But just let's hope that Duran, at that stage, will be able to stop him doing all that sort of carry on. Duran is, it's early days yet. He's still in the fight.
Okay, let's go back to all the action. Round 3 is next.
Roberto Duran, and we'll pick that up between the next rounds. Round number 3. scored the first two for Leonard. The second one a little more convincingly than the first.
Duran, he looks a little tight. The first 2 rounds, he looked tight.
Duran looks like Duran.
Looks like Duran like that.
This is exactly the way he fought Ray Leonard both times. He doesn't rely on a good snapping jab, just pushes it out, waits for something to happen, and then tries to counter.
Yes. But every time when the end of the round, he'll shake his arm. He's still not loose yet.
Roberto is going to have to nail Ray with a big punch, slow him down a little bit.
Counter right by Duran, and then Leonard ties him up.
I believe that Ray feels that he's a lot stronger this time than what he was the first 2 times.
Left caught Duran leaning.
And the difference between Leonard fighting a Duran and a Tommy Hearns is that Tommy Hearns was a big tall guy, and when he thought he was out of Tommy's range a couple of times, that's when he got nailed. But Roberto was a short guy, so he just keeps Roberto where he wants him, and Roberto just can't quite reach him, not up to this point anyhow.
Ray has said privately that he's glad to be boxing a smaller man for the first time in his last 3 bouts. Hagler, Lalonde, Hearns. Right hand lead landed, but he paid for it with a right return from Duran.
But Duran is watching very, very good. He's not trying to make any mistakes, and then he's waiting for Leonard to punch so he can counter.
Leonard quickly off the ropes.
After another round of this, they'll go right back into the first 2 fights. No difference in the styles.
Well, Pepe Correa in Leonard's corner said try to nail him to the body. Doesn't like those body shots. That could be for taking all that weight off in a hurry.
Well, what's funny, well, Leonard's been knocked down twice, and Duran's been knocked out. So they both should have some kind of confidence that knowing that one of them can go.
And Leonard nailed him, and Roberto just shook his head, which is an old Latin trick.
Yeah, well, Duran, when he's in the inside, he's fighting kind of sloppy. His timing is off a little bit.
Leonard's concentration is just great in this fight. A thinking man's fighter. That's Ray Leonard.
Final seconds, round 3, and there's a little nostalgia from New Orleans.
If he keeps this up, he's going to drive Duran crazy.
Plenty of bad feeling in that ring at the end of that round 3. Frank, Bruno, a very positive start from Leonard.
Very, very positive. He's using science on Duran. He's trying, at the end of the round, if you see there, he's trying to wind him up and get him mad and torment him with all the alley things, dropping his hands and that. You know, he's doing a professional job. A lot of people might think, oh, he's being a cocky son, so I'd like to get him hit on the chin, but he's just, the more the fight is going on, it seems that he's getting more confident and he's taking the mickey out of him, to be quite honest.
And is Duran getting wound up by this?
I'm not too sure. It seems like he's going to get wound up the more the fight goes on, because the more Duran lets Leonard do it, the more cocky and arrogant he's going to get, as you'll see.
But, Frank, he hasn't been hurt yet, has he?
No, he hasn't been hurt at all. They're getting nearer together now, you know. You'll see it gradually, they're getting nearer, but Leonard's just getting more cocky and cockier and cockier.
Let's see what happens.
Skillful.
Round 4 next.
Round number 4. Scheduled for 12.
Leonard's corner told him not to go get cocky on him now.
Well, they said save the macho stuff for later in the fight. They expect Duran to wind down.
Well, this is the time that Leonard's going to do anything to get Duran now, because Duran might start to loosen up.
He can't get near Ray Leonard. Ray is keeping Duran exactly where he wants him. That's what Duran does. He doesn't snap a jab, but he just paws with the left hand.
Yes, but now I can read it that Leonard's trying to catch, going to read that right hand. He's going to throw the right hand over top of that left jab.
Well, That's if he wants to take that chance, Ma, because Duran keeps that right hand of his cocked. That's what he's waiting for you to do.
But Duran is letting Leonard rough him up. Also, when they get in tight.
Low blow from Leonard. First connecting jab from Duran, not much on it.
Leonard's fought him before, so he kind of feel very comfortable in there.
No damage. Inside now, Leonard with an uppercut.
Leonard has to keep using that left jab. He can't forget the jab. Now he's moving around. He's not snapping that jab out. There's a good jab.
Leonard's trying to use psychology and the movement. He's trying to put all these things together right now against Duran. And he's got Duran hesitating.
Right hand by Duran.
Started it with a left hook and landed the right behind it.
Duran has to get closer.
Really banged heads in there, both trying to get close.
Duran has to show that he's just as strong as Leonard.
Ray Leonard, a lot of dancing in these early rounds. It has to be a question as to how long he can keep that up.
Well, there's a moment of truth in every fight, Tim. Eventually they're going to settle down.
Leonard's mouth is bleeding at the moment.
There is some blood on the lower lip. It may be that his teeth were driven into the front of his mouth.
And it also could be a head.
And it is bothering Ray Leonard. There's no question about that.
Good jab to finish the round.
Well, Duran looked a lot better that round.
I need more James. Okay, when you do this side, don't tuck it right here. And one of that extra side, start right back up here. Okay, a little more body. Give me a second, Pastor. Water bucket. Double wrist and right there. Keep still, baby. Keep still. There we go. Okay.
Apretado ahora, anótale con el jab. ¿Me entiendes?
Yeah.
Y empieza a buscar esa derecha. Empieza a buscar esa derecha. Oíste, compa, con toda la hora, prométeme.
Richie Sandoval, what were they telling Duran?
They're telling Roberto to put more pressure and then come out with the right hand. You know, lead off with the right.
Into round number 5.
You know, this may help. The fact that Leonard is bleeding may help Duran psychologically, because Leonard was playing games with his mind, but now Roberto sees that there is some damage to Ray Leonard. Might give him a little pep.
Well, you know what's bad, though? Leonard's getting away with a lot of dirty tactics right now by putting the arms down on Roberto's head every time he gets in close. And the referee is not seeing it. That's the old Ali tricks.
And in Leonard's corner, they complained to the referee that Duran butted him. That's what caused that cut inside his mouth.
Well, I think it may well have, but as I recall the incident, both heads came together. I don't think there was any intention at all.
Oh, absolutely
not. Intentional, but.
Well, Duran is definitely trying to put the pressure on Leonard now.
Again, Marv, there's going to be some time in this fight when they're going to settle down and fight. Then we'll see. Meanwhile, Leonard can steal these rounds, and the blood is streaming out of Leonard's mouth right now.
And it is probably bothering Leonard right now.
Leonard is going to have to get a little bit more aggressive. He's moving around. Now he threw a big right here, but missed by a mile. He has to remember that left jab. That's Leonard's key weapon right at the moment.
Richard Steele warning Duran for hitting on the break, and now stopping time to have tape prepare on the left glove of Ray Leonard.
Okay. Tim, we were talking about the crowd reaction. I think the crowd right now has been swayed to Roberto Duran's side. A lot of booing that time when referee Richard Steele stopped it.
Well, Leonard now, you know he will settle down now, because now he's starting to try to punch, but he's a bigger man.
Leonard is a pretty tough kid. Gets right down to the nitty-gritty. I expect Ray to stay in there and throw those combinations. Now you can hear the crowd again. Duran.
want this here fight too much. Then it tightens you up.
Very little offensive movement on Ray Leonard's part at the moment.
Well, and Duran, for his part, has been very patient during the first 4 rounds, it seems to me, expecting what he's seeing and letting Ray circle and move.
Well, Duran's been looked like he's been concentrating more on the body. And as again, you can see both guys are missing shots that they never would have missed before.
Well, 38 and 33 will do that to you, Marvin. End of round number 5.
I would suggest to you, Barry McGuigan, that was the best round of the fight so far for Roberto Duran.
Yeah, he's getting closer to the mark, but he's still well short. And the problem is that Leonard has won the first 5 rounds handsomely. He's just that little bit sharper and quicker. And the one thing that Duran has lost is the speed in his legs, the speed of foot.
What's the problem in the mouth there? Seems to be from that clash of heads in the previous round, 4.
He's cut inside the mouth, but that's not a problem. You know, they're using the swab to stop it. They'll use adrenaline to clot the blood and stop the cut. So it's not a problem.
Can Duran stay patient for long enough to get his shot at Leonard?
That's what he has to do. Whether he can do it or not at the age of 38 is another thing. I just think he's showing his age, Paul.
Leonard in command so far.
Absolutely.
Here's the next round coming now.
One difference.
I'll tell you one thing, that rule from Jersey would work good tonight, because then their hands would stay warm, because it's cold.
Eddie Aliano having to do work on the mouth of Ray Leonard. We're into round 6, scheduled for 12.
And for the first time, really, Duran got the range with the jabs.
Well, I think maybe the blood coming out of Leonard's mouth can help. You see?
There's Leonard. Took a left, but he slipped as the blow landed.
Ray is going to have to get back and do a little more offensively. He's letting Duran pull him around, chase him around the ring.
Duran wants this more than anything. You can feel it. You see it in his eyes.
Duran, they're really trying to close him to the corner. Ray tied him up effectively.
He wants to knock Ray out. But you can't do it one shot.
Ray is very, very hesitant. I think he's very conscious of that cut lip.
Yeah, it's bothering him. Look at the
how do you like that?
Behind the head.
A warning from Richard Steele for that.
Well, he also told Duran, protect yourself at all times.
This part of the ring, Leonard always seems like he has a little
Good left hook by Ray Leonard. Good left hook counter.
Right hand lead landed by Leonard. Duran ties him up.
He's going to have to start throwing some punches, Tim. Leonard, it's all, you know, Duran is pressing Leonard, but every time Leonard feints, Duran stops. I mean, he's not exactly the most aggressive guy in the world. He's giving the impression that he is.
Landed left to the body. Leonard circled out of the corner easily. Now Duran sits in there, hoping to
nice combination by Leonard. Good left hook.
Good left hook. Good right
other
uppercut.
left. So Duran gambled there and lost, and now Leonard picks up the pace. A good left and a right behind it.
And he thinks he has Duran hurt. Well, I told you, Tim, that he's settled down eventually, and he has.
Duran trying to tie him up.
This is what Duran wants to fight, but he's not doing nothing. This is the right way to fight, Leonard. Now you give Leonard this much less back.
Right hand by Leonard. A left to the body. Counter from Duran. That got Ray's attention.
He nailed Duran with another right hand.
And then the bolo here punching on the break. And a right hand lead
by Leonard. And Duran is not punching back.
A smile from Duran will not get it done. End of round 6.
I believe that no mask really affected Duran.
In what way, Mark?
I think he really don't like Leonard, and he's all tight. He wants to kill him, but he can't do anything about it.
You haven't said anything.
But that was a foul, Tim. And Richard Steele warned him, and properly, because he look at him pull Roberto's head down. And then that Ray Leonard is a tough guy.
Carlos Hibbert yelling at referee Steele, who did warn Leonard. Now, Richie Sandoval, what did they tell Duran?
Hibbert was yelling at Roberto, telling him, come on, we're behind right now. We're way behind right now. We got to get going. We got to get something started.
Well, Hibbert agrees with us. We've got Leonard comfortably ahead at this point into round 7.
I think Duran is not fighting the fight that he really wants to.
Very half-hearted left hook to the body by Roberto Duran.
Tim Ryan with Gil Clancy, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, former bantamweight champion of the world Richie Sandoval, helping us with the Spanish translation.
So far, this fight has gone exactly the way Ray Leonard planned it. Frustrate him, score points. When you catch him off, nail him with a couple of good punches.
He's letting Ray do just what he wants to do out there.
You know, every time Leonard feints, Duran stops. So he's not really the aggressor that you think he is.
Right, and then Leonard will come over with a quick punch.
Has Duran exactly where he wants him, right in the range that he wants him at the moment.
You wonder now if Duran wondered if he's getting old.
Well, you know, you can get old all of a sudden in there, Marv.
Of course you can.
And again, he took all that weight off in a hurry. Nobody to blame for that but himself.
No, the money.
It's half-hearted punches by Roberto Duran at the moment. Maybe he's trying to lull Ray Leonard to sleep.
It appears that Eddie Aliana, the cut man, has done a good job in stopping the flow of blood inside the mouth of Ray Leonard. None apparent here in round 7.
Well, Eddie Aliana is one of the best in the business.
Well, Leonard gets in trouble now when he stops in that. He stays there too long. You know, and he gets tapped on the chin. His legs seem to wobble a little bit now.
Good left hook by Leonard.
Duran is throwing half-hearted punches now, Tim. You notice that?
Maybe he don't want
Yes, he's landing them, but without a lot of sting, and now we must question the stamina factor of how much strength was given up in getting down to the weight.
That was a nice sucker punch in there. He drew him in, caught Leonard with a nice left hook.
Solid jab by Duran. Now a little blood again from the mouth of Ray Leonard.
Right here is where you shouldn't let Leonard get that rest.
Duran throw one punch and grab, and Leonard out punches him again.
Good combination by Leonard, snapping the head back of Duran. Sneak right fell short. Final seconds of round 7.
Duran is progressively looking older, Tim.
Yeah.
We have Leonard ahead. 5 rounds for Duran to change the course of the fight. Frank Bruno, Leonard doing a good job, quicker and dominating.
Yeah, I think father's time's caught up with Duran. I'm sad to say that, but the father's time, he's just one split second behind, you know. And it's sad to see a legend like this go out, but that's life and that's cricket.
He doesn't seem to be sparking quite as much as we would have hoped.
From when he first came out, we all said that he just didn't seem that spark. We could all make excuses and all that, but Leonard's just one step ahead of him all the time, you know, everything he does.
We're still looking, though, at the possibility of one big one landing from Duran.
Yeah, all the sort of like people that don't like Leonard's sort of like style, he's flashing and dropping his hands, always waiting for that one big punch, but he just won just a shade ahead all the time.
Okay, let's get back.
Pretty to watch, you know, very pretty to watch.
Leonard dominating so far. Let's get back to ringside.
Round number 8, scheduled for 12. Ray Leonard remarked after the first fight in Montreal that the eyes of Roberto Duran reminded him of Charles Manson, a scary character of that era, now still in jail for a mass murder. But Roberto Duran, as Gil pointed out, showing the age as one would expect he would at age 38, but he summoned up quite a lot at age 37 against Barkley.
Big right hand by Sugar Ray Leonard. What, Roberto coming in
and right then, that's when Duran should have jumped back in the fight. He's losing the fight now because he's getting tagged and he's letting Leonard build up his confidence.
Tell you, Marv, after Ray landed that right hand, I looked at the canvas to see if Roberto was down. Didn't wobble. Nothing happened except he just doesn't have any fire, Roberto.
It just seems like Roberto really don't want to be in there now.
It's just hard to believe those eyes are not there that Ray Leonard described. And yet to hear Duran in preparation for this fight, it meant everything to him. The redemption from New Orleans. The infamous no mas.
Again, Tim, the only shot Roberto Duran has in this fight is to land a good, solid punch and really hurt Ray Leonard. He's got no chance to win a decision, in my opinion.
Duran tries to grab with the left hand to see whether he's going to punch or not. By him standing there, hesitating, Leonard is punching and moving. He should jump on Leonard. He stopped.
Well, the thing that's keeping him from jumping on him is every time Ray feints a punch, Duran stops.
But he's not cutting the ring off on Ray at all.
He gets him in front of him, Marv, but what happens, again, he respects Ray's punching power. There's another right hand by Ray Leonard. He just has Roberto Duran's number tonight.
Yeah, he's fought him before. They know each other.
We're in the 8th round.
Now, why did Duran stop? Why did Duran stop punching right then? It seemed like he had something going.
Well, there's a 5-year difference between the two guys, 38 and 33. That could be one reason.
Leonard still cannot get careless in there. It's a big fight.
As I say, one punch could turn things around, and right now it's all Sugar Ray Leonard.
Even inside, Leonard scoring as they break.
You know, they've been watching Duran's foot. How Duran, you know, he crosses over on his feet. And that's when they try to catch him. When Leonard switches back to the other side, Duran is stuck on that side.
Leonard backs into the rope and is willing to flurry there. Got the better of it.
Oh, Duran threw one punch and stopped.
I think Duran is not that strong. And he's trying to preserve some of that energy for maybe if it goes a long round.
Final seconds of the 8th, the body attack from Leonard. Duran should not be waiting.
8 gone. Barry McGuigan, what's going through Duran's mind? He must know he's well behind on points.
I think he's accepted the fact that he's well behind. I believe he's just in there to last the course now. We've been waiting for him to burst into life from the very beginning. That hasn't happened, and honestly, I don't think it will happen. There's that right hand again. Always, Leonard's always first to punch.
There again.
Good right hand. He's absorbed quite a few of them, and you know, we're always hoping for that right hand to come over and nail Leonard, and at least get back into the fight again. But Leonard, to me, has won all the rounds so far. You know, look for him to start trading more with Duran and being more of a macho man now.
Look at the scores there, Barry, as you see there.
Yes, there we are. Well, it doesn't surprise me. Leonard's won every single round so far.
Okay, the 9th is coming up. Let's get back there.
More blood from that mouth, Tim, coming out of the corner than at any time since early in the fight. That's strange.
Ray Leonard, I think, knows, as he should, that he's ahead, the way we see it. Made some comment about the hell with the crowd. I guess the suggestion being made that he should try to do more than he has, but he's so much in control of this fight. I think he's wisely saying, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Now Duran, planning there, lands a combination of the body.
That was the best punches that Duran has thrown all night. Duran should be concentrating more on Leonard's body. He's concentrating on his head.
There's Ray in and out, side to side.
He knows that Duran is slow, and I'm surprised Duran has not used that quick right hand. Wait for Leonard's jab and then shoot the right hand like that. More to the body, Duran should be going. Keeping that left hand up a little higher for Ray's right hand.
But again, it's Leonard leading, landing punches and escaping. That's getting some boos from Duran fans.
Yeah, now Leonard started to listen to the crowd. Where he said he wasn't going to listen to the crowd, he started getting flat-footed again.
You know, Marv, you mentioned that Duran may be trying to conserve energy. We're into the 9th round. What is you saving it for?
I believe he's got a lot of pressure. You think it works for you when you have your family here, like his wife and his mother here.
But you said he's trying to conserve energy. It looks to me like he's conserving it for the senior prom.
Well, the fight's not over yet.
Well, he's so far behind, he's going to have to score a knockout.
But I think that's maybe what he's looking for. But that's when you know when you look for a knockout, sometimes it never comes. You keep holding it all night.
But he's not going to score it, Marv, unless he starts throwing some punches.
He's got to go to the body. He's got to put more pressure, cut the ring off of Leonard, and go right to the body.
Again, Ray is just staying out of his punching range. Just can't reach Ray.
You got to make him fight you.
Leonard for 33, showing excellent stamina to this point.
Stamina and speed.
Look
at that left hand. Look where his left hand is, down around his knee.
And every time Duran leans back, he comes forward, and that's when Leonard hits him with the right hand. Watch Duran when he tries to get out of the way. See, there you go. That's it. Because Duran is rocking.
Well, what he does is Leonard puts you to sleep, then nails you with a few punches, wins the round, and that's all he has. There he is again.
Now Leonard driving Duran back into the rope.
Perfect fight plan for Sugar Ray Leonard.
Duran on the ropes and Leonard in command, and now draws him out as the bell ends.
Duran may smile, Frank Bruno, but he knows he has an enormous way to come back to get into this fight.
It's just got to be a clean knockout for Duran to get any way of winning in this fight. You know, Leonard's just getting more confident and more confident and more confident, and it's sad when you see it like this. I'm a Sugar Ray Leonard man, but I've got the greatest amount of respect for Robert Duran because he's touched so many people's hearts, and he shouldn't really go. People like him, what he's done for boxing, he shouldn't really go out like this, but that's the way it goes. Leonard, brilliant mind game going on, in control. Concentration from the belt from round one, you know, it's unbelievable. This is the artistry of boxing is science. Look at those, the power as well from Leonard. You know, class. But some people would call it flash, but that's the art of boxing, to hit someone, but not to be hit yourself. And he's certainly doing it so far. Round 10. Constructive.
He's not doing anything. He's just staying there and stalling.
Well, his handlers are agreeing with our view at this point. We have Leonard comfortably ahead, and there is no fire in the eyes of Roberto Duran.
No, I think basic system, no man. All he wants to do is go in there again and show the people if he lasts the distance, then he went in there again and he regained a little bit of something back.
I don't agree with that, Marvin. I think he thought he could win this fight, but Leonard has discouraged him.
And Leonard is banging him right hands to the ribs, and there's that left hook after showing him the right hand.
Maybe there's the age factor.
Whatever it is, Roberto Duran, and there it is again. Ray is just defying him with that right hand.
Ray Leonard, who loves the challenges, loves to beat the experts. Those who criticize the performance, and rightfully so, against Tommy Hearns, all it did was drive him to what he's doing right now. Excelling one more time.
Well, I give Leonard a lot of credit for his game plan, but I can't understand, Roberto Duran wants this so bad, why is it not a better fight?
Well, as you said, he was trying to conserve energy. I can't figure out what he's conserving the energy for.
Well, Joe, like you said, maybe it's too late now, but you know, again, it only takes one punch.
Well, that's it. Then and there's the right hand again.
That's the punch that Leonard's corner was teaching him to throw.
Again, Roberto's not going to land the big punch unless he takes chances. He's going to have to take chances and try to reach for him. Take a chance of maybe getting nailed, but he's going to have to throw some punches.
He doesn't have it. All that's
the answer. Let's
be honest.
Nice double left hook by Sugar Ray Leonard.
We're in the 10th round, scheduled for 12. Sugar Ray Leonard's title at stake. The right hand lead by Duran landed, didn't bother Leonard.
Yeah, but he should throw more of those. Just throw him when he's got to lose.
You know, Sugar Ray Leonard had some tough spar partners. Engels Pedrosa, one of the best young punchers around. So he's prepared for guys who can throw punches.
You have to wonder whether or not Roberto Duran wants to start.
Duran just can't get off, Bob. He just can't get off. Can't get off. And the crowd is reacting.
And Leonard, that's where Leonard wants to keep him.
Domination landed by Duran, but Leonard just fired back on his own, scored just as well. Now Ray open there. There's a lot of confidence showing through. He took a couple of shots from Duran. They didn't seem to disturb him in any way.
Takes chances, Ray. Way ahead in the fight and really reached with that right hand.
He wants to come right at him now. Take him out of here.
Couple extra shots after the bell by both fighters. The end of round number 10.
Robert, si tú llegas a esta pelea, tienes que ganar estos dos últimos asaltos. Tienes de huevo a huevo, estamos en Las Vegas, papá. Tienes que meterte.
Saca las manos como puedas, las dos.
Well, our interpreter, Richie Sandoval, what are they saying to him?
Roberto, if you really want to win this fight, you got to win these last 2 rounds big. I mean, really big. You got to let those hands go. You're not doing anything.
Well, again, his own corner giving him an accurate picture.
You know, Tim, I know Sugar Ray Leonard pretty well. He's way ahead in this fight. He doesn't have to take a chance. I think he may go out and do something spectacular in these next 2 rounds.
I agree with you, Gil. I think he is a man of the moment. He loves the spotlight. He loves the stage. He loves to gamble and risk.
I mean, all he has to do now is feint, jab, and walk around the ring for 2 rounds, and he's got it won. But I don't think he'll be satisfied with that.
Well, Duran's face don't look like he really wants to win the fight.
No,
you can see in the fighter's face.
He's discouraged, Marv. He looked like a 38-year-old man just then. Very good concentration on Ray Leonard's part. He's sticking right to that fight plan.
And still excellent movement. Here we are into 11 rounds. After all, he's 33. His legs were questioned after the Hearns fight, and yet he has been moving constantly through 10.
Side to side, side to side.
Because Roberto, he's keeping Roberto off balance when he goes to the right.
When they do get on the inside, it's Leonard with all of the firepower.
And that should be where Roberto Duran wants to be.
Oh, if he can't beat him inside, Marv, he sure is that he's not going to outbox him.
You know it.
To this point, a masterful performance by Sugar Ray Leonard. And a disappointing one from Roberto Duran. Well, mainly in terms of the lack of fire, let alone firepower.
I thought I'd see a little more out of Ray Leonard this round, Tim. He's winning the round, but again, as they told him to forget the crowd, just win the fight.
I can't believe why Duran is not moving his head to the side. He's moving it straight back.
Duran has nothing right at the moment, Marv. Yes, Ray's playing now.
Some of the showboat from Ray, who certainly can feel safe at this stage based on what's occurred so far.
Well, the fight's not over yet, and you can't get too overconfident.
Ooh, big right hand by Leonard.
By Duran, and Leonard's eye is cut.
Rocked Duran, and they clashed heads again.
That was the hardest shot that Duran threw.
I think it was a good right hand by Duran.
And that's what he was saving for.
I think so. They both landed, and the most damaging one clearly was by Duran. Just after Marvin Hagler said the fight isn't over yet.
And now they should perk Duran up to go after the eye.
End of round 11.
As they said, Barry McGuigan, it's not over yet, but for Duran, a pretty simple logic going into the last one. To get anything, he has to knock him out.
Exactly. We're waiting for that right. I just see a cut there on Leonard's left eye. Don't think it makes any difference at this stage. Leonard's won every single round up to now. We've always been waiting for that right hand of Duran's. It never has happened. It's as if he's aged his 28 years. He's 38, but he's been in the game 28 years. It's as if he's aged those 28 years in the last 12 rounds or 11 rounds. Watch for Leonard getting stuck in now and having a real battle for 3 minutes.
Why wouldn't Leonard just stay out of trouble? He's won the fight by a mile if he does that.
Well, he's got to be the macho man. That's the way he is.
Here he is
That's
in
his
round 11.
ego. His ego, well, I would imagine, there's a good right hand. That's actually the one that done the damage. That's where the cut happened. In fact, he was lucky it didn't happen earlier than this. Here we go for the last round. Watch for Leonard exchanging blows.
Worried now whether that blood would bother him in this last round.
One of the best cut men in the business, Eddie Aliano, has got that Ativan shoved in there, and there's still blood coming down Ray Leonard's cheek. But again, he's just about safely home as far as I'm concerned. If anything should encourage Duran, it should be right now.
Right now,
firing.
right after him.
You know, after he cut Leonard's eye last round, he never threw another punch. He just kept stalking him the way he's been doing all fight.
Right now, he should be cutting that ring, put a little bit more pressure on.
No punches from Roberto Duran.
Blood from the mouth of Ray Leonard and from the eye cut in round 11.
You know, Tim, if you look at both of these guys when the fight's over, you think that Duran won the fight.
Duran, I don't know what Duran... I think the blood is starting to bother Ray a little bit, and he might get a little careless in there and start the fight, worrying about the eye, which maybe he can't see.
Judges are Jerry Roth from Las Vegas, Joe Cortez from New Jersey, Bob Logis from Belgium. And if this goes the distance, it'll be in their hands. As we see it, Leonard is comfortably ahead to this point. But suddenly this damage to the face of Ray Leonard.
Well, Tim, they're not going to stop the fight in the last round of a title fight. As far as I'm concerned, this fight's over.
Yeah, right now,
I'm going out on a limb saying that, but...
Right now, Duran should be right after him.
Well, he just keeps... Duran's used the same pattern for the entire fight. No change of strategy.
What's Duran waiting for?
Well, one would think he'd just bull rush in here. That's his only chance.
You know that Leonard's just trying to beat that clock up.
Tried it there, and Leonard escaped easily.
And the crowd doesn't like it, Tim. Now Ray's moving around with his hands down.
Switching from southpaw to right-handed.
And Duran is mugging. Duran should be punching, not mugging.
Leonard was the heavy favorite coming into this bout, and most of the boxing experts picked him to win. Some went with Duran. To this point in the bout, he has excelled, I think, even the expectations of all those who thought he should win the fight.
Well, this fight's going to be over.
Final seconds. That's it. Duran raising his hands, and not sure what for, but Ray Leonard,
well, Tim,
in the arms of his handlers.
We have Leonard comfortably ahead in the fight. There's no question in my mind that he won it. I guarantee you the judges scoring we were a lot closer than ours.
Well, I think you're no doubt right, and we'll find out shortly.
I felt Ray won the fight.
Marvin Hagler and Gil Clancy and Tim Ryan all think that Ray Leonard has won the fight.
Okay. All right, Marvin, you know, you mentioned that the fight wasn't over and looked like Ray Leonard was coasting. All of a sudden, they both threw right hands. Now, if Duran's right hand would have landed maybe 4 inches lower, he may have scored a knockout.
Well, that's what it was. I thought the same thing. Let's
take a look at it. There's the punch stats. Total punches. Leonard landed 222. 227 and 52%. Duran only 14% of his punches.
Oh, beautiful.
Well, either he was way off or this is the end of the trail for him.
But you know, why I got the opportunity, I'd like to say happy birthday to my son, Gentry. He's 19 years old tonight.
But you don't have time to sing to him. You have to get back to this fight.
Okay. Great fight.
Well, I wouldn't say it was a great fight. I think it was a great tactical performance by Sugar Ray Leonard. He completely frustrated Duran, kept him exactly where he wanted him for the entire fight. Just really was never in danger. All right, now let's go up to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the decision.
Gentlemen, here's the official scoring. Jerry Roth scores the bout 119 to 109. Joe Cortez scores it 116 to 111. And Bob Logis scores the bout 120 to 110 for the winner by unanimous decision. And still, WBC Super Middleweight Champion of the World, Sugar Ray Leonard.
All right, here in the ring, get Ray Leonard over to us here. Richard Steele holding his arm. Ray approaching Roberto Duran, congratulating him on his effort. And here is Ray Leonard, somewhat the worse for wear because of a couple of cuts. But I think, Ray, in the fights that you consider your great efforts, this is one of your most masterful performances.
I would say so, Tim. I think a lot of emphasis is placed on the fact Duran was 38 years old. But Duran's a veteran, and he came to fight.
Well, it appeared to us that you frustrated him early, not so much in the same way as in New Orleans, but that you showed him that there was no way he could effectively match up against you.
Well, this time I didn't really listen to the crowd. You know, I think the fact that we're being cut for the first time, my lip, I had to move, and then it was a headbutt to the eye, and then it was another shot that it was imperative that I move.
Well, you moved well through the whole match. Tell us about the difference in your training, because clearly anybody who worried about the legs not being there after the Hearns fight were certainly persuaded that they still are.
The legs were good, Tim. In fact, that's what saved me a lot of times. It got me in, got me out, and it confused Duran.
Did you stick exactly to the game plan you wanted?
Game plan was actually the same thing.
What about Duran? Were you surprised that there was kind of a lack of fire, or did the fact that you dominated the way you did simply take it away from him?
Well, I knew he was going to be tough, but speed was the key, Tim.
Speed.
Let me go to the hospital to check out.
All right, Ray Leonard, congratulations to you. Two rather vicious cuts suffered, one from a headbutt accidental, the other from a big right hand from Roberto Duran. There wasn't much else big from Roberto Duran in this fight. A disappointing performance for him, an effective, indeed masterful one for Sugar Ray Leonard. And again, we have the feeling he'll be back for some more against somebody. And now let's go to Al Bernstein.